medicaments, drugs, vaccines for immunization of people, of children. And we also used the opportunity to store some of the palliative materials there, because the reserve palliative materials. And contrary to what is being spread out, what's being propagated on the internet, these were more like the reserve palliatives from what we had been distributing over the last 4 months. Because over the last 4 months, we've received from CACOVI, from our own purse, from individuals and private organizations, total items totaling 1.1 million items. We've distributed about 1.19 million items. We've distributed about 1.112 of those items. And what we had, which were just like reserves, was about 7,300 of such items left. We had a whole range of items like rice, gari, noodles, spaghetti, sugar, beans, these were all a combination of all the items we distributed. But what was left, I think, was just about a few thousand cases of noodles and maybe 1 or 2 other items. So, just following the trend we're seeing across the country, they went in their hordes to take over, to first lay siege and then take over the warehouse and started looting their warehouse. First, we said, fine, if it's the food you want, let's give them the food items, if they were that starved, then the whole food items were given to them. But they insisted on continuing to steal all the other items, the drugs with which we stock our hospitals. And it was really unfortunate that we tried not to use minimal force, tried to appeal, but you can tell that these were just hoodlums who were not interested in the progress of their society. They then went to another warehouse where we had kept the bulk of the palliatives we distributed. Unfortunately for them, all the items in that other warehouse had been fully distributed. Also, there was nothing left in the other warehouse. But unfortunately, that was a compound contained warehouses for other private organizations, people selling electronics. And then these young men went out and continued to pilfer and loot. Our worry was, if we allowed that situation to continue, you see, like we saw in Calabar today, they started moving moving into homes to harass, and we cannot allow such a total breakdown of law and order. And so this evening, I'm pleased to inform you that the security chiefs under my control undertook a counter-offensive. We were able to dispel the crowd. We've arrested quite a few of them. They're making useful statements as I speak to the police headquarters. And we pray that, this will bring some calmness into the state. And but I want, and hopefully restore some order. I want to tell you that first, it's a national phenomenon. It's not restricted to Edo. But that, in the case of Edo, it took a very unfortunate turn because criminal elements, criminal elements, and we found that some of them have been here, were brought in for the purposes of elections and were given arms, and they have not been demobilized. And so such people were the core actors in going into the jails to release inmates and perpetrate the crimes they've been committing across the city. I know tonight is a prayer session. I just won't want to take too much of your time. So I've spent about 10 or 12 minutes trying to explain, the immediate causes of immediate crisis situation at home. But to say that it was not unexpected. I had always predicted that this was going to be some of the post-COVID fallouts. COVID has put every nation, every state to test. And for states that were already weak, for states where the state systems and institutions were faltering, they will receive, huge brunt of the fallout of COVID-19, and that's what we're seeing here. I don't expect it to, blow away quickly, but that in itself is a challenge, and calls on us, particularly me, to ensure that we push harder in terms of building electioneering practice. That we continue to invest in the economy, to grow the economy, want to give opportunities to young people to live. I assure you that as governor, with God on our side, this too will pass. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. As always, have you talk to Edo people. You will leave us. I just want to ask one last one, because it's quite fragile as it is. Sir, do we still have in Edo State any other has got palliatives that the Edo people need to know? And if there are, what are the plans of government going forward?
We don't have any. Like I said to you, in terms of, we started distributing, purchasing and distributing palliatives. We as a state don't spend our money. Since July, I think, July. And we go through, before the elections, through the elections, we distributed quite a lot. And as I said, out of 1,119,627 items, we only have about 7,000 left. And that was what was looted.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Thank you so much. I am glad that I can tell you that we've got over 2,500 people right now watching us live on Facebook alone, and which means that this news is going to go far. It's important. This had to happen on this day. Immediately, this whole thing is happening, and His Excellency has come on to clear the air. For those who are making speculations, please, we want to appeal to you, particularly for the adult youths at home. We want to appeal to you, let us do our best to ensure that we keep the sanctity of our states. At this junction, I want to bring on Dr. Loretta. Dr. Loretta, please.
Just a quick point before Dr. Loretta comes in. Let me also say that, you see, these, I won't say protests, these, the reactions you're seeing is a very carefully planned and orchestrated reaction to bring the government down. And as you'll see, I believe right now at the police headquarters where they are in, when the police finally dispersed about 8 people inside the warehouse already with phones, calling people outside, giving messages. So these are just not random reactions. And this whole spin you find on the internet is also part of the strategy to discredit government, to create a sense of fear, of hatred, to justify the crimes they continue to commit. So please try and understand, this is very well thought out, very well planned attack on the state. It's unfortunate it started with something legitimate like NSAS, but what we have today is people who are desperate, who are angry that they lost political power, or they are losing political power, they were not able to win elections. This is a fight back by the lions and tigers and their sponsors in Edo.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Once again, you have demonstrated to people across the world, not just only in Nigeria, in Edo State, but across the world, that you are a man who is prepared to engage with your people. Your people called today and you have answered. You have clarified major points. You have told us how only 5,000 of those things were left. Even in the UK, in America, and in Canada, people do have rescue or emergency supplies left in warehouses for times that are unprecedented. As a doctor, a public health physician, I know we have been expecting a second wave of COVID. If I was governor, and my team would be very, very unreliable and not on the point if I gave out every single palliative, knowing that a second wave may arise. So it was only clear that we prepare for the rainy day. And 5,000 from 1 million, that is more or less not a number to worry too much about. However, for our people out there right now, the governor has spoken to us. He don't talk and he don't tell us or time. However you want us to explain this, please let us be peaceful, let us be calm, and let us await events. Like you pointed out, this is not happening only just in Edo State, and it is his love and dedication to all of us. He holds all of us in high esteem, that he has chosen to come out and explain to us today. Your Excellency, I know you want the prayer to go on. I know you want us to go ahead with what was planned. But just before you go, I want you to tell us today that one prayer point you want all the men and women of God hearing gathered to take on your behalf, even by the time you have left this particular gathering just now, sir.
Thank you, Loretta. At this point in time, what we need most in the land is peace and healing. There's so much anger, there's so much frustration. And these are all challenges that did not start in one day and will not lead in one day. So we need the grace of God. We need His blessings. We need His intervention to see us through this difficult patch. So that will be that single prayer point I will please request you, all the men and women of God this evening to make and intercede for us in Edo State.
Thank you very much, sir. We do thank you. Thank you for your response. You can stay for as long as you wish while the woman of God will carry on along with the other ministers and begin the prayer session. Domo, sir, thank you very much.
You know, Loretta, I just